The change is so small, it's like a drop of milk in the ocean, and it's something we want to run away from, not just as people in the media, but as a country. Because every time women complain or challenge policies, women, what do you want? We've given you a ministry, we've given you a policy, we've given you 3% in what? But you see, the way we've been nurtured or oriented to public life has been from a patriarchal eye, where we are not allowed to talk, where we are not allowed to do what. So they just want us to fill these spaces, but not to be articulate, not to speak our issues. So every time we do, we are ridiculed. You look at Parliament. How many women are there now? How many do you want to associate with? To me, none of them. The other women I was telling you in the other Parliament, those are the women I would like to see now. Because we are still those girls, intimidated, and we don't prepare women for leadership. We don't. So you're crappling around. By the time I know how to lead, I'm 60 years, 70, time to retire. I leave it to you, and you're also not prepared. I didn't prepare you. And most women leaders have the Queen Bee syndrome. I finally hear the rest of you work hard. I don't make it easy. Most women leaders don't pull other women's. We don't hold the other woman's hand. I want to be the only powerful woman here. The rest of you sweat it out the way I sweated it out.
On that very point, Doctor, you see media as a fraternity. If you look at media in women, is there which strategy would you like recommend that women in media can or should start up to help, because we believe that women in media are out there and they are the voices.
Yes, we are here.
Yes. So what are those initiatives you think that would stand out if women in media started them, and they would actually help empower other media in other professions?
Not to sound cliche. I know everyone is talking about mentoring, coaching, but indeed that is what we need to do. But also be part of those networks. I'll give you an example. I gave you an example of when I just come into journalism. And this one woman I found in the newsroom held my hand. How? We used to have arguments about women and men in the newsroom. And I'm very outspoken. And one day she tells me that, Patricia, I've seen you like these arguments of women and men. You would enjoy this organization called Uganda Media Women's Association, which I had never heard about, but I learned of it that day. And she said, they have this kind of activities. They teach women public speaking. They teach women this. There used to be a lot of training for women, how to be a good journalist, how to do court reporting, commercial reporting, and so on and so forth, investigative journalism. And Uganda Media Women's Association still exists. And I'm the immediate past chair. So I joined Uganda Media Women's Association, and I think I benefited, because those are some of the issues they deal with. But like I was telling you earlier, that in our quest to improve women in the media and women in general, we've made some mistakes of isolating men. Because you see, you take me away and try to change me, because these women's workshops, they call women alone and put you in the hole there, and they tell you your rights and they tell you this, but the man stays where he is, thinking exactly how he has been thinking. So when I come back, there's a backlash. When now I'm opinionated, that's not the woman he married. That's not the woman he knows. I paid my cows, and you think you can just stand and talk to me like that? That thing of beating women on Women's Day because she's come late or she's demanding. Now you also cook for me. Today is Women's Day. That's how they understand power. So for me, that is where we've made a mistake. Isolating women and preparing them, empowering them, and forgetting the man. So the man will keep thinking the way he has always thought: I am in charge. I have paid my cows. You're my property. You do as I say. Meanwhile, you're beginning to demand your rights. So obviously there will be conflict, there will be battering. Most of those places where you hear domestic violence, many times the woman has challenged the man. And it's like, who are you talking to like that? Then he starts beating you. Then people like me, I box back, and then the fight ensues. So we must educate both women and men about why there is need for women to be educated, to be empowered, to be given these privileges. Men who marry empowered women, some of them see a difference. If we are both bringing in money and it's school fees time, really, all this stress of men losing their head during school fees time should not arise. Of course, there are those stories of women and their money maybe it's not what I want to talk about today, but if it is a proper partnership where you're both contributing. Now, in cases where the woman earns more than the man, there are stories of how women, they don't know where our money goes. I still want the man to, even when I earn 4 times more than him, I'll demand for a house, I'll demand for food, I'll demand for everything each month. My money, nobody knows where it is. Or cases where the woman contributes, there's that backlash where the man begins feeling funny. You're showing off with your money. I've experienced that. So it happens. It happens. So we have to prepare both parties. It is okay for Patricia to work, because if we want to buy expensive land in Kololo, she will top up and we shall get it. If we want to build a house, maybe she'll buy the tiles, me I'll buy the rest of it. Maybe she'll do 30%, I do 70%. Or it is okay for her to do 70% and I do 30%. And now also religion plays a role in the way we're oriented in a relationship. It is about the man. You know, if you've read both the Quran and the Bible, there's that enforcement of how women should behave when they get married. So you find women invest in a lot of property, and you'll only know when the man is throwing out of the house. How can you throw me out of the house I built by myself? You took my car and drove in another woman. You've heard those stories. So I think both parties need to be prepared so that the men appreciate. Actually, men who appreciate gender empowerment, need for equality, are very supportive. So to me, to conclude on that matter, it is about social justice, really.